Hello everyone. I was just watching a video with Richard Dawkins, and I'd actually seen this before, but I made a video talking about how I became an atheist, and it kind of got me in the mood for watching more Dawkins. So I went ahead and watched some of his, I think it's Channel 4 documentaries, which are really good. If you ever feel like watching them, you should check them out. There's this fucking Muslim guy on there. He's from New York. He used to be a Jew. Can you believe that? Not only was he American, and I say was because fuck that guy, but he was a Jew, and he goes over in the Middle East into Gaza and ends up converting to Islam. And the motherfucker has the most backward views. Holy shit. I'm about to show you here in the video some of these backward views. And the thing is that it's not just the jihadis that have the crazy views. And Sam Harris, and I know Sam Harris and Bill Maher have made this point a million times. And again, I can't believe we have to say this, but not all Muslims, not all. But there's a group of jihadis, which is small, but it's, I mean, relatively small compared to the massive size of Muslims, the population of Muslims. But it's not so small it's insignificant. You know, it's something that we really need to deal with and stop being pussies and actually talk about. Then there's a larger group of Islamists. And Sam Harris talks about this a lot. Now, these are the people that believe women should be stoned, people should be killed for leaving the religion. Really backward fucking ideas that people in America and Europe should be appalled about. But instead, anytime you bring this up, they say, oh, okay, well, yeah, there's problem A, but what about problem B? And Devin Tracy talks about this. I'm not gonna pretend like I got that. I could have gotten that on my own, but he words it that exact same way, so I'm not going to just say that and act like I haven't heard it before. And they also say, not all Muslims, not all, especially Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, he's the worst. Well, it just shuts down conversation, and it's absurd. This is something that, the feminists, everyone, every single person in America should be fucking pissed off that there's people out there who believe this shit, and they're being protected, really. People are shutting down conversation. Like, how dare you criticize all Muslims? No one's saying all Muslims, Cenk, or the regressive left in general. No one's saying all Muslims. It's the fucking bad ones, and there's more than just a few. It might not be Cenk's grandma or his parents or whatever, but there's still some out there. And I really enjoy listening to Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins and all these guys talk about the threat that Islam, the threat of Islam, the threat of radical Islam, the threat of Islamists. And this guy from New York, he just comes out straight out and says all this shit. And it's like, these people are ignoring him, He's telling us his motives. And he's not the only one. I mean, hell, he's from New York. He's from New York. This isn't some guy who was indoctrinated all his life. This is some fucking former Jew from New York. And he's saying all this backward shit. Now listen.
They established the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and then they put over where we think is the main temple compound, where the altar was, where the Holy of Holies was, they put another building called the Dome of the Rock, which is not properly a mosque. And we, at the present moment, are simply not allowed in there, inside the compound, identifiably as Jews.
The Muslims reject these Jewish claims. And when Ariel Sharon entered the Temple Mount area in the year 2000,
I came here with a message of peace.
his visit sparked the second, or Al-Aqsa, Intifada, a Palestinian uprising that has cost 4,000 lives so far.
وإذا أراد اليهود السلام مع العرب والمسلمين وفلسطين فليبتعدوا عن المسجد الأقصى المبارك.
And if the Jews sincerely want peace with the Arabs and the Muslims, then they should stand away, keep away from the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
In the Muslim religion, there is no possibility anyway of sharing the territory. If I come in there in some far corner, far away from a mosque, in an open area under a tree somewhere, if a Muslim will catch me murmuring psalms or some other prayer, he will call the police to have me egressed, shall I say.
As far as the Al-Aqsa Mosque is considered, there are no negotiations, absolutely no negotiations about it.
لأنه لا يملك أحد من المسلمين في العالم أن يتفاوض على الأقصى.
Because no Muslim has the right worldwide to negotiate over the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Again and again, my conversations come back to the solid walls that religion puts up, back to implacable faiths. My holy book is true, I am right, he is wrong. So I went to meet someone who, in my naivety, I thought might be able to see both sides of the story. Youssef Al-Khattab used to be called Joseph Cohen, born and brought up as a secular Jew in New York. In 1998, he moved to Gaza as a Jewish settler. But there he discovered a different God, Allah.
What I noticed coming to this center of world religions, what a lot of hatred religion fosters. I mean, I'm an atheist, and I'm rather gentle. I don't hate people, but it seems to me that I'm hearing hate on all sides, and it seems to me all to do with religion.
I hate atheists because atheists don't care if somebody fornicates in the middle of the street. They don't care if their women go bouncing around on TV topless. It makes no difference to them. They don't believe in anything. If you don't believe in a set rule, and you believe that a constitution can change, and you can amend the rules as they go along, and you don't believe in God's rule, then what law do you have? You just have man-made laws.
I realized I was in the company of someone who has willingly bought into fundamentalist dogma.
Is the basis of morality. What do you think about the September the 11th attacks on New York and the July the 7th attacks in London?
Okay, since you like to speak about evolution, I like to start before. What do you think about the Jews that have destroyed over 417 Arab villages, including all mosques and masjids, which wouldn't affect you because you're an atheist? So what are you saying, that we should sit back and say, oh, you know what? Let us progress and let us sit down and drink tea and talk about what to do. I think that's the most ridiculous thing. All I could say is, if there was no quote-unquote state of Israel, there would have been no September 11th.
But if we've all got to live together, it's not going to be helped if there are people of very, very strong faith who simply know they're right and are not amenable to argument, because there's somebody out there who's just as faithful as you and has his faith just as strong as yours, which is opposite to yours.
You see, the problem is, Richard, I think that you have fear. You know that this party of occupying Muslim lands and polluting society with these evil ideas that are around, it's not going to last.
Evil ideas? Evil ideas? Are you talking about Islam? No, of course not. Of course not. Islam isn't, evil. Religion isn't full of evil ideas. What? Ah, my God. So fucking absurd. Holy shit. Okay, so first he says, there would have been no September 11th if the state of Israel did not exist. And he used quotes to say the state of Israel. Oh my God. How does that justify 9/11? And why are you even justifying 9/11? I mean, that alone proves to you the backward thinking that is required for this motherfucker to believe this shit. He leaves New York. He's a former Jew. He leaves New York. He goes to Israel. Converts to Islam. Openly hates Jews. Unabashedly hates Jews. He was one. His family, I guarantee you his family still are. I mean, ethnically, of course they are. But I mean, I'm talking about religion-wise. Unless I'm kind of making an assumption there that he went to that area because he was a religious Jew and not just an ethnic Jew. But anyway, that's not the point. Yeah, it's we allow our women to jump up and down with their breasts hanging out. It's all our fault, people. It's totally our fault. We need to keep our women in check. God, can you imagine if a man said that today, in today's climate? Holy shit. The feminists think that the men, the patriarchy, is keeping the females down. What bullshit. Holy shit. You know, the women in the Islamic world are the ones truly being oppressed by a real patriarchy. And it just proves it with this asshole here. Our women. Like we have control over them. They're individuals just like everyone else. Responsible for their own individual actions. Holy shit. Jesus Christ.
Forever. There will always be the soldiers of Allah there to give the response to this. So we also want the same thing. All we want is that we want the non-Muslims at this point off the lands of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the lands of Muhammad, we want the kuffar out of it.
Do you want Islam to take over the rest of the world?
Of course I want it to, and it will. So my advice is to clean up your show at home, take your forces off our lands, correct yourselves, fix your society, all right? Fix your women.
Fix your women. That's not my business. That's my women's business.
No, it is your business. It is your business. When you take the women and dress them like whores on the street.
I don't dress women. They dress themselves.
No, but you allow it as a norm to let the women go on the street dressed like this. What's going on with your society?
But I'm interested in religion and the effect that it has on people's minds. And I'm worried about it.
And we're very worried about you.
All right, folks. I mean, you heard it. He said that if it wasn't for Israel, the state of Israel, 9/11 wouldn't have happened. Okay, which is some fucked up justification. I mean, it shouldn't be justified ever. I mean, I know we're bombing them, but if you think it's equal, you're fucking stupid, because this is a retaliation. And we try to limit the amount of casualties of civilians. They intentionally flew their planes into buildings full of civilians. So if you equate the two, you're fucking stupid. Okay? He then goes on to say, you know, if we would just take our troops out, and if the Jews would stop killing people, and, you know, I believe if the Jews leave Israel, everything will be okay. Everything will be fine. They'll stop killing people. They'll stop attacking, you know. But then he says, you know, Islam, he wants Islam to take over the world. And why exactly would I be okay with that? Why exactly would I just allow that to happen? You think I'm just going to sit by and let Islam take over the world? Fuck no. I'm not letting those backwards beliefs take over the world. Fuck that. Now, if he means he thinks that Islam will win the war of ideas, then he's delusional. That's not going to happen. And I will make it my life's mission to prevent that from happening. I really will. I fucking will. And I know a lot of people who will join me. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's what he means, because the only way in my mind that you'd be able to spread Islam is through the sword, with force. Okay? That's not going to happen either. We cannot allow that to even get to that point. But we have all these apologists out there, and regressives, who say, no, this is a religion of peace. If you even bring up any criticisms, even if it's of the group of Islamists or jihadists, they bring, oh, not all Muslims. Or what about problem B? What about problem B over here? They're both problems, so what does problem B have to do with problem A? It's absurd. It's to shut people up. I mean, they do this with feminism too. It's, you're sexist. They do it with racism too. I mean, I'll be talking about the Black Lives Matter movement quite a bit as well. It's racist. You can't talk about anything in this country right now. It's absurd. It needs to be talked about. These people with these backwards ass beliefs need to be pointed out for their stupid fucking ideas and ridiculed. Religion in general is just fucked. The fact that we still have people believing this nonsense is bizarre to me, and a lot of people believe it in this country. That's religion in general I'm talking about right now. Holy shit. Alright. That's it. Just, goddamn, I mean, something has to be done. We gotta do something, people. And I'm not trying to scare everyone. I just think this is the reality of it. I'm looking at it through objective eyes, and I'm saying, okay, this is a problem that needs to be dealt with. Okay? And I sincerely believe that.